I think this main event that we have right here between Josh Emmett and Ilia Topuria is a very clear indication of what the UFC machine will do to you if you're in that older range of a fighter. You just had your opportunity for a title eliminator and you lost. You get fed into the machine. So you have to serve a role as a fighter. And it looks like the role of Josh Emmett in this one is, can you beat the next big thing in the featherweight division? Can you stave him off, and can you earn your ranking in this division? Meaning that should you belong in this top 5, right? Now, Ilia Topuria is one of the few undefeated guys left in the UFC that is on a real rampage. And we haven't seen too many people stopping him. But here's my question to you. Josh Emmett just fought Yair Rodriguez. Some people are saying that he has a real opportunity to beat Volkanovski for that belt. Is there a drop-off in talent between Yair Rodriguez and Ilia Topuria? Or are you just taking one beast and going straight to the next?
I think you're going beast to beast, Derek. I mean, Ilia Topuria is a different kind of beast than Yair Rodriguez, admittedly, but he's still a caged animal on his own, literally in there fighting, man. Yeah. The thing about Josh Emmett, though, what I'm curious, Derek, is it always just takes one good left hand from him. Mm-hmm. Can Ilia Topuria stay perfect? Because as much as this is Josh Emmett having to be, eat or be eaten, if you will, this is also Ilia Topuria getting his chance to solidify himself at the dinner table, chomping at the bit to get that gold. Can he stay perfect, though? Because I do think he's the better fighter, but as we've seen, he's not always the better fighter wins the night of. Do you think he can stay perfect, Eric?
I'm not even sure if it's a matter of being perfect. I don't know if that's the scenario that we should be drawing up with this fight, because Josh Emmett, yes, if he lands with one of those tenacious hooks, will you go to sleep? Like, most likely, right? Like, you will get put down. And did we see Ilia Topuria get hurt against Jai Herbert? Like, we absolutely did. That was like some shaky legs right there. But then the man went up a weight class, fought a big, tall, long, powerful dude, right? That's known for knocking people out. So I think that the real question here is not whether he can stay perfect, but will he mix up his game enough to where Josh Emmett's opportunities to land the big shot get taken away? And I'm going to just push that back to you. What do you think?
I think he will, Derek. And that's why I like Ilia Topuria in this fight, because he's so tenacious at whichever one he's trying, whether it's a stand-up, whether it's a ground game. Ilia Topuria's pressure is impeccable, man. This dude gets after it. That's why he's one of, like you said, Derek, no longer a dark horse. Mm-hmm. This horse has came to light. He's taken the lead a little bit. Now it's the time to really shine. I like him a lot for that aspect. The big question I was having was Josh Emmett. You said it yourself, Derek. When Ilia Topuria went up, he fought Jai Herbert, a bigger guy. If you look at the way the build of Josh Emmett has against, especially in that Yair Rodriguez fight or the Calvin Kattar, he's a big dude. He's going in there big. Ilia Topuria has seemed to be smaller. And maybe it was because I was looking at the Jai Herbert fight that Ilia, I was like, this guy really is a featherweight. Do you think the size is going to matter? We said the power. I said the power will. Do you think the size will?
Size always does matter, but I think size can also be deceiving, right? Guys who don't have the big, stocky build of a Josh Emmett can't sit there and rely on the plotting, I'm just going to corner you and drop the big bomb. You have to use your footwork, which I think is going to be the big X factor in this one. You have to use your footwork to create the openings, and Ilia Topuria has a really, really good knack of lulling you into the spot he wants to hit you in. So he's not forcibly catching the angle, rather he's setting up with his footwork you to be over here so he could land the big left hook to the body, or whatever the case may be. So let me ask you this, man. This is actually a big interesting point that I see between Josh Emmett against Yair Rodriguez versus Topuria. Yair is nonstop crazy kicks from the craziest, wackiest angles you can imagine. When's the last time you seen Ilia Topuria throw like a legit head kick to anybody? Like, he does the majority of his work with the hands in a pure boxing match. So how does that? I'm imagining that will give Josh Emmett a couple more opportunities to land the big shot. Yair could keep him at range because he could hit him from so far out and then come in with the hands. Ilia, it's not that he doesn't have the kicks. I just think he chooses not to use them. What do you think?
Yeah, I was trying to rack my brain of when we seen Ilia Topuria last throw a head kick, and maybe in the Ryan Hall fight, just because he was somewhat having fun. But even at that point, I doubt it, because you don't want Ryan Hall to grab your legs. I don't remember for the main part, Derek.
Yeah.
Now, can Ilia Topuria put Josh Emmett in the kind of spots that is allowing Ilia Topuria to better himself in the fight? I think so, especially because Josh Emmett has a tendency to let the opponent take the lead. he doesn't mind backing himself up, getting himself against a cage. Once he sees that black line on the front foot, he's swinging and banging. So if Josh Emmett allows himself to really be controlled in that chest motion, I see bad things for him. Derek, do you see it the same?
Yeah, I kind of do, man. I kind of do. It's just tough, man, because this is one of those things where you look at Josh Emmett's career and you look at his last two losses. His last two losses have both been finishes, right, where he's been finished. Only times he's been finished, I believe, in his entire career. So it's not like they were back to back, man. This was years and years apart. But at the end of the day, you have to take into consideration, like, all right, now you're starting to get caught a little bit. Now the chin is starting to wear a little bit. Does that mean that the chin is gone? That's an overreaction. I don't think that's true. But I do think when you have a young, hungry Ilia Topuria who says, I have one goal, and that goal is to be the champion, and I don't care about anything else, and no money fights, nothing like that. I want to be champ, and I'm undefeated, and I'm coming to take your head off. I don't know. He comes with a supreme confidence that makes you very, very confident in him. So last part of this equation here, the ground game. Josh Emmett's got good wrestling, right? He could take you down and he can maintain top control. I actually think that he statistically is one of the leaders in top control, like in not being in disadvantageous spots in the UFC's history, right? Before Jeremy Stevens. So my question is, Ilia Topuria, certified black belt, legitimate black belt, has like 8 submission wins on his record or something like that. Do we see him say, I'm going to just take away the power by just putting you on the ground and I'm just going to start working submissions? What do you think?
I think we might, Derek. That was one of the big things I was going over because you're right. Josh Emmett has struggled with the submissions, at least as of late. His latest loss was the submission by Yair. And in Topuria's last fight, he did very well in the ground game against another absolutely dangerous man on the ground, Bryce Mitchell. Not saying Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett are the same type of wrestler, type of ground technician, because they're not. But I think he does very well against that kind of power, uses the power against Josh Emmett and really control him on his own. It does. It sounds like an easier thing to be done it sounds easier than done. You know what I'm saying? Because Josh Emmett has the power to just say, fuck it, I'm standing right up. He does open some holes that way. Do you see it the same?
Yeah, I'll say this, man. I think Topuria, if you look at just on paper, yeah, you'd imagine this dude is, he submitted Bryce Mitchell. He beat up Bryce Mitchell with the hand and then opened up the submission. So I think that's the whole entire thing. His game weaves into all the other different martial arts together. Josh Emmett, I think the game plan is very clear. He lets everybody know, if I tag you with one of these hooks, it is game over. If I hit you with the power jab, it could be game over. The same way that he did I think he hit a power jab against like Mirsad Bektik or something like that, man. It was a good one, but the odds, they kind of make sense. Minus 335 Topuria, plus 260 for Emmett. It doesn't make sense because Emmett is so much more credentialed and fought such better opposition, but it does make sense just on the rampage that Topuria has been on. It's not like he's not a tested contender as well. I think we should really just talk about how we see this one taking place, man. So clearly we both like Topuria here, but how does he get it done?
I'm thinking submission, Derek, plus 140 submission. There's a reason it's always the lowest for at least the odds makers. I thought KO instantly, but seeing how things have been happening, I think Josh Emmett's chin is still there. Give me the club and sub, submission round 2.
I think Josh Emmett's chin is still there, and that's why I got Ilia Topuria. Give me the TKO. Give me round 3 TKO, and I don't see this being I'm gonna crack you in your head and knock you out. What was the problem that he had with the Yair? You get hit in the sweet spot right there in your liver. We know Topuria mixes it up very well with his boxing. So all it's going to be is either I'm going to hit you to the liver, come up over the top like he did to Jai Herbert, or why not be the other way? I'm going to fake up top, come down to the body, get you out of there. Either way, I like Topuria, KO. And then, I'm sorry, AJ, which one did you say?
I said round 2.
Round 2. TKO though, yeah?
Oh, me? Submission.
Submission, that's right. Submission. All right, sorry.
Submission round 2.
TKO 3 for me. And with that being said, we see finishes. We have high hopes here for Ilia Topuria. Do not discount Josh Emmett, but I just think that momentum. I talk about it so much on this show, man. Momentum is a hell of a thing, and the momentum is in favor of Ilia Topuria.